Hello, everybody. Welcome to your sports betting podcast, Betting Insight. I am your host, Timothy. I am sitting here with my co host, Sergio.
Hello, everybody.
We want to thank everybody for joining in. I will quickly tell you guys the concept of our show. We are discussing five different club competitions across Europe: Serie A, La Liga, Premier League, Eredivisie, and the Bundesliga. Now, we are discussing every game individually and giving out our prediction, primarily our betting prediction. Before we get started, I want to tell everybody bet responsible and never bet more money than you can afford to lose. All right, today we are starting with the Eredivisie. First game on the schedule, Feyenoord versus Heerenveen. Feyenoord wins set at 1.25, Heerenveen wins set at 13, line for the total goals set at 3.5. Sergio, take it away.
This is gonna be I think, a easy game for Feyenoord. Heerenveen was embarrassed their last two games against Sparta, and they also lost against Go Ahead Eagles. So you would think that they will come strong after the interland break, but Feyenoord is playing with a lot of confidence, and especially their last two games. Okay, they weren't playing against the most difficult opponents, but still, the way that they approached both games was very impressive. So I think Heerenveen has something to worry about. For me, it's an easy win for Feyenoord this weekend.
What would you see as a smart bet for this game?
Uh, I would go with maybe over 2.5 because Feyenoord, they're in a uh, good scoring streak. So I would go with over 2.5 goals,
For
maybe three and
Feyenoord,
a half even
over 2.5 for Feyenoord or for the game?
for the game.
Yeah,
Oh, oh, or over 2.5 for Feyenoord and over 3.5 for the game. It's
uh,
also
that's a way to go. I don't like betting and the over 3.5 in these types of games. My bet for this game is both teams to score. I think there's a lot of value in both teams to score, set at 1.83. If you look at Feyenoord, of course, they're a better team. They're impressive, but they have only kept the clean sheet once in the first game against Fortuna, and actually they were kind of lucky to do so. Heerenveen has scored in every game, and most of the game at least twice. Feyenoord has allowed goals against teams that are pretty bad, like Utrecht and Almere City. So I would expect Heerenveen to score at least once in this game. I expect Feyenoord to win, so both teams to score is for me the way to go in this game.
both
All
teams to
right,
score.
yeah, I like that bet. All right, next game, Vitesse versus RKC. Vitesse wins at 1.55, RKC wins at 6. Line for the total goals, also 3.5. Who do you like in this game?
RKC, they have to start winning or even start getting their first point. Yeah, it's really terrible what's happening there. Last season they were better, a lot better than what they're doing right now at the moment. Uh, if you look at the history between these two teams, usually they evenly matched when they play against each other. Vitesse also had they also lost the last two games against um, AZ. The last time, I really thought they were gonna win this match, but they played awful, and so I can't really say that against RKC it's gonna be an easy match for them. So I think it's gonna be more difficult than you would think. If you look at the odds, mm, I really don't agree with the difference. RKC, I think they will really try their best to at least draw this game because they need to start somewhere. So for me, this match, I think it will end in a draw.
Yeah, I agree with you with the line. Vitesse are heavily favorite. I don't think they should be. I don't think there's deserved heavily favorites. They were very awful against AZ, like you said. Like I think the first shot on target was in an extra time. Like they
Yeah,
couldn't.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they couldn't muster a single good attack. So I have a hard time backing either of these teams with any confidence. Also, both teams to score, not a great bet for me, not a lot of value, and I can see the total goals going over 3.5. So I'm staying away from this game. Not a good bet for me in this game.
Okay. Yeah, for me also not a really interesting match this one.
All right. Next up, Fortuna Sittard versus Volendam. Fortuna Sittard wins at 1.62. Volendam wins at 5.4. Line for the total goals also 3.5. You like somebody in this game?
Uh, yeah. Fortuna. Mm, Fortuna Sittard. They also have had a difficult start. So, um, but Volendam, they lost their best player to FC Twente. So for them, it's gonna be a very difficult um, remaining of the season. They are also not that good away in their away games. I lean more to Fortuna this game. They're playing at home. Volendam is not it's not a opponent for them that would cause them any trouble. For me, it's a Fortuna win this weekend.
Yeah, I'm also leaning towards Fortuna. Slightly, not a lot of value at 1.62, but you would expect them to win. Volendam scored 2 goals, conceded 8 goals. Um, Fortuna's the better team. They're playing at home. They should win. Like I said, not a lot of value, so I won't be betting this game. But yeah, Fortuna win is the way to go for this game. All right,
Yeah,
next up,
Fortuna win.
PSV versus NEC. PSV wins at 1.19. NEC wins at 17. Line for the total goals 3.5. The line suggests not an interesting game. So what are you doing?
Um, I would agree with the lines. Yeah, yeah, it's definitely not an interesting game. PSV will win this game very easy. They the coming games, the upcoming games, the few games that they have, it's not gonna be any trouble for PSV and NEC is yeah also not performing very well. And the start of the season for them was also yeah kind of a disaster. So for PSV, it will be a easy win. It's also not an interesting bet this this match.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. Not an interesting bet for me in this game. It should be a comfortable PSV win, but not a lot of value in PSV winning. Also, not a great chance it goes over 3.5. I don't like betting total goals over 3.5 in these types of games. So I'm staying away from this game, not betting this game. All right. Next up, Heracles versus Utrecht. Heracles wins as 2.75. Utrecht wins at 2.6. Line for the total goals, 2.5. Utrecht, new coach. Actually, a better coach, you would think, than the last one. So, can we expect a new manager bounce?
Is it official now that they have the new?
Yes, it's
It's
almost,
Ron
almost.
Jans.
Yes, yeah, Jens.
Ron Jans. Man, Utrecht. The worst start of a season ever.
Yes, true.
Uh, they have to turn it around. I mean, and Heracles Amelo is the perfect opponent. Yeah, it's not really mm, comfortable for them to start um, uh, uh, um, after the interland break in an away game, but they they have to do something. For me, I think this will be their first victory for FC Utrecht. They can't do nothing else, and especially with the manager Ron Jans, personally one of my favorite coaches in the Eredivisie. He knows how to turn things around. Um, I go. It won't be an easy win for FC Utrecht, but I believe that they will win. So for me, it's FC Utrecht win this weekend.
I agree somewhat with you, and Ronjan's a good coach. He can definitely turn things around. But the way these players have played in the first couple of games, I don't have a lot of confidence. They don't really have any good players. Like
No, 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 no. That's the problem. They have good players, but they can't seem to find the right combination or starting lineup for them to really perform.
tell
But
you,
because they have a really good midfield,
they
the
don't have
midfield
good.
is
They they have Tonsra. How old is Tonsra?
Amrabat. They have
Oh,
Amrabat.
come on.
Also,
Who's the
yeah,
striker? The
Labiat.
strike. Labiat, come on, he's way past his prime. They have the striker is Lidberg. Lidberg from Go Ahead Eagles, not a great striker. I don't think the players are very good. So I have a hard time backing Utrecht in this game. I'm leaning more towards Heracles, but for me it's just a lean, not a lock. But I like Heracles more in this game.
Yeah. For me, FC Utrecht, they can't do nothing else but win.
Yeah,
It's
they should win, but I don't think they will. So I'm leaning more
against
towards
a
Heracles.
promovendus, now. They
Heracles
almost
playing
have
at
to.
home. Heracles is a very good home team, so we'll see. All right. Next up, Peck versus Go Ahead Eagles. Peck wins at 2.4. Go Ahead Eagles wins at 3. Line for the total goals set at 2.5. Who do you got in this game?
Yeah, for me, it's go ahead Eagles for sure. Back they they were a little bit lucky. The last game. Go ahead Eagles. They're starting to get their form, the right form, and also they have a lot, yeah, a better team than Pack. So I see that Pack is the favorite in this game, but I don't agree. They only maybe because they're playing at home, but Go Ahead Eagles will win this match. So for me, it's a Go Ahead Eagles win.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Go Ahead Eagles is the better team. I think the wrong team is favored here, so I agree with you there. But maybe because of home field advantage, you would give Peck a slight advantage. But I think the wrong team's favored here. Go Ahead Eagles is the better team. They should win. I'm also leaning towards Go Ahead Eagles for this game. All right. Next up, maybe the match of the weekend in the Eredivisie. Twente versus Ajax. Twente wins at 2.6. Ajax wins at 2.8. Line for the total goals set at 3.5. Now the line actually tells you Twente is favored in this game, but when the line opened, Twente was actually underdog. So that tells you the money's coming in on Twente. So what you, yeah, what are you doing this game?
Of course, it's Twente. That's why that's why they're suddenly favorite. Yes, it's Twente. I, I, something needs to really go wrong for Twente not to win this game. I mean, Ajax. I don't know what happened to Ajax, but they are. I think from the top teams like PSV, Feyenoord, AZ, Ajax is the worst one.
I
I
agree.
mean, they the players that they. I heard that they have like six different languages that the players speak in their team.
Yeah, they have a lot
They
of
don't
different players.
understand each other. Uh, 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 I mean, like, oh no, it's a disaster there. It's a 20 win for me. This one, it's Ajax. No,
Yeah,
they're really
I
Twente.
agree with everything you said. Actually have the lines moved again. Twente set at 2.55. Okay, that tells you what you need to know. Twente is the way to go. I have Twente as my second block for this week, so I really like to enter this game. Ajax, they have a difficult time finding their starting 11. A lot of new players. They're still figuring out the rotation. So and Twente hasn't been great since the start of the season, but they won a couple of games, so they have a lot of confidence. Ajax they lack confidence, so Twente is definitely
Yeah,
the way to go in this game.
yeah, sure. It's 20 all the way because Ajax a draw, a loss, the last two games, and the draw against Fortuna. Oh man, that was really embarrassing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me it's a 20 win. It's a 20
All
win.
right, I agree there. Next up, I think also going to agree on this game. Excelsior versus Almere City. Excelsior wins at 2.07. Almere City wins at 3.5. Line for the total goals set at 2.5. Where are you going?
Almere City, they're not playing too bad, but the problem is that um, Alex Pastor uh, he has a really offensive way of playing, and he doesn't want to back off of that way of playing, and he doesn't have the players to
True.
to to actually play the way that he wants. So that's the only problem that they have because they're not playing that bad, but it's just he doesn't have the material to actually succeed with that way of playing. Excelsior, on the other hand, three draws and one loss the last four games. Um, this game, I personally think that Almere will get their first point in
Oh,
uh, in, in this game. Yeah, because Excelsior they they play even worse than Almere City for me. So um, they were a little bit lucky against Ajax and Fortuna, but I think this game is it's a draw and maybe even a Almere City win.
I'm gonna have to
I,
I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. I got Excelsior winning this game. I don't have them as a lock, but I have them. I have them winning this game very comfortably. Actually, Almere City not ready for the Eredivisie. Like you said, they don't have the players. The coach is not playing the style that really fits and the players he has. Excelsior should win this game. No, I have no trouble backing Excelsior in this game. Almere City will be one of the teams who will go down. All right. Next up, Asset versus Sparta. AZ wins at 1.58. Sparta wins at 6. Line for the total goals, 3.5. Where are you going this game?
Um, this match can be the first slip up for AZ because Sparta is a yeah they have a very good team. They play very well. They uh, they they score a lot. And AZ, the last games, okay, against Vitesse, they played very well, but also Vitesse was not that impressive. But I think this will be the first real test for AZ against Sparta. They're lucky that they're playing at home because if they were playing away against Sparta, I would definitely go for Sparta. But now at home, um, it will be a win for AZ, I think, but not a convincing one. And I would go for a double chance for Sparta, draw or a win. Sparta is in very good form for me.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. This will be a great test for us at Sparta, very good team. So the line is kind of tricky. Asad very heavily favored. So the line kind of stinks for me. I will not be betting this
Yes.
game because this feels like a slip up for Asad. I'm staying away from this game. But if you want to do something, a double chance for Sparta is not a bad way to go.
Or over 3.5 goals, maybe also.
Uh,
Uh,
I don't like betting over that number. All right. All right, that wraps up the Eredivisie. Next up, we are doing Bundesliga. First game on the schedule, immediately a cracker. Bayern Munich versus Bayer Leverkusen. Bayern Munich wins at 1.56. Leverkusen wins at 5.2. Line for the total goals set at 3.5. Where are you going, Sergio?
um, at this uh, at this moment, I would go for the underdog. I would go for Bayer Leverkusen because it's everything is there to just go for the underdog. You know, it's Friday. It's Friday night. It's Bayern München against Bayer Leverkusen, two teams that started the season well, and uh, and I don't know, but like the last four games that they played against each other, one easy win or two easy wins for Bayern München, like last season 4-0 at home. But the last match Bayern Leverkusen won, but they were playing at home. But like I said, it's Friday, and usually Friday crazy things happen when the top teams play against the, against a team like Bayern Leverkusen. So I'm going for the Bayern Leverkusen this
Yeah,
time around.
I spent a lot of time on this game, figuring out who I'm going with. I also like Leverkusen in this game. I think the line is pretty wide. Like Bayern Munich is very heavily favored. I think undeservingly. Bayer Leverkusen started the season very well. They scored at least twice in every game. Victor Boniface looks really good, very in very good form. But Bayern Munich playing at home, Harry Kane also looks sharp. So that kind of gave me some cause to pause, but I'm still leaning towards Leverkusen. But I'm for this game, my bet is Leverkusen scores more than one goal. So I'm hitting the over on 1.5 goals for Leverkusen. It's set at 2.43. I think there's some good value in there. If Leverkusen were to win, they should at least score twice. Bayern Munich will score a goal. Like I said, leaning towards Leverkusen, but going for the over 1.5 goals seems like good value for me. Anything else for this game?
Mm, no, no, not really. I think you it's a good bet
Yeah. All
for
right.
Bayer Leverkusen. Yeah.
All right. Next up, Leipzig versus Augsburg. Leipzig wins at 1.24. Augsburg wins at 12.5. Line for the total goals, 3.5. Not an interesting game, the line would suggest.
No, no. If you look at the odds, it says everything. Bayer Leverkusen. Um, I think they won't have any trouble with Augsburg. Augsburg also did not win a game yet, and I don't think they will start with Leipzig. So not an interesting match to bet. Mm. So I think this match is just yeah, easy win for Leipzig.
Yeah, I agree with you there. It should be an easy win for Leipzig. I'm also staying away for this game, not betting this game. If you want to bet this game, I would look at both teams to score. Augsburg has scored a lot of goals and 7 goals in 3 games. So maybe they score a goal. Um, like I said, I'm staying away from this game. But if you want to do something, look at both teams to score. All right. Next up, Keulen versus Hoffenheim. Keulen wins at 2.28. Hoffenheim wins at 3. Line for the total goals, 2.5. Where are you going?
I would say Hoffenheim. yeah, yeah, I would say Hoffenheim, but that's only because of the odds, of course. But still, Hoffenheim, they played the last 3 games. They played uh, mm, decent. Okay, it was against Wolfsburg and against Heidenheim, but it's against these teams that they were starting to get their form. Um, Keulen wasn't very convincing at the start. They lost against Wolfsburg, remember, and I don't know, but Hoffenheim is the better team for me. Mm, and again, I'm going for the underdog. For me, it's a Hoffenheim win.
Yeah, I agree that Hoffenheim's the better team, but the fact that Keulen plays at home gives me some cause to pause. Like Hoffenheim, not a great road team, so I would slightly look at a draw, although I don't like betting draws. So and I'm staying away from this game. I think Hoffenheim's the better team, but Keulen playing at home gives them a slight advantage. So staying away from this game. All right. Next up, Freiburg versus Dortmund. Freiburg wins at 3.35. Dortmund wins at 2.10. Line for the total goals, 3.5. Who do you like in this game?
I have a weird feeling this weekend, but I'm going for Freiburg also. Dortmund, they don't, yeah, they're not convincing at all. They draw against Heidenheim, against Bochum, and now Freiburg. Freiburg is it's a Freiburg. It's a good team. They're playing at home. Um, Dortmund, I think they're a little bit under pressure now, and my feeling says Freiburg will take advantage of that. Uh, I'm going for a Freiburg win.
No, I'm going the other way. I'm going for Dortmund win. I agree with you. Dortmund hasn't looked great since the start of the season. They were up 2-0 against Heidenheim. were very sloppy at the back. Okay, they gave away 2 points. It ended up in a draw. But Freiburg last game they got embarrassed by Stuttgart, lost 5-0. So I think they lack some bit of confidence. Dortmund under pressure, they would want to correct things. I'm going for a Dortmund win in this game. I'm not very confident, so I don't have it as one of my locks. But I like Dortmund in this game. They would want to get their win. All right. Next up, Wolfsburg versus Union Berlin. Wolfsburg wins at 2.2. Union Berlin wins at 3.4. Line for the total goals set at 2.5. Where are you going?
This match again. It's Union Berlin for me. I usually have this weird feeling this weekend. All the high odds. It's like almost. I think in Germany in the Bundesliga this weekend there will be a lot of surprises. Really, Union for me still Union is the better team. Um, they lost against Leipzig the last match, but okay, mm, that's nothing suspicious about that. Uh, Wolfsburg, on the other hand, they lost against Hoffenheim. Um, Union Berlin, they 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 play better. They have the better team. Uh, for me, still, it's a Union Berlin win. I'm going for Union Berlin,
I
and
agree
it's
with
my
you that.
first lock of the weekend.
Oh, wow.
Union.
Wow. Nice
Yeah,
going out on a limb.
yeah,
All right.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I agree with you that Union has the better team. And before they lost in the last match day against Leipzig, they actually had one of the longest unbeaten streaks at home in the Bundesliga. But if you look at Union on the road, completely different team. I agree with what you said about Wolfsburg in the last game against Hoffenheim. Actually started good, tailed off at the end, but they were coming off a road game, so they had back-to-back road games. Kind of explains it a little bit. Now they're going back home. I think they'll get a win against Union Berlin. So I'm backing Wolfsburg in this game. Not a lock for me, but I'm betting Wolfsburg. All right. Next up, Mainz versus Stuttgart. Mainz wins set at 2.65. Stuttgart wins set at 2.6. Line for the total goals set at 2.5. Stuttgart, a very tricky team. They won 5-0, lose 5-0, won 5-0 again. So what's happening in this game?
Yeah. It's a difficult team to predict. Um, it's a little bit easier to predict Mainz. Yeah, mm, the last three games weren't really good from their side. Um, Stuttgart, like you said, not really not really a team that you can predict. Yeah, what their uh, what their form is gonna be. Uh, I'm going for me. I'm staying away from this match because I think it will be a draw. I think it's one of the matches in the Bundesliga this weekend that will end in a draw. Um, Mainz, they're playing at home. They need at least they need a little. They need to start getting points again. So no, for me it's a draw this match. I don't see Stuttgart winning winning this match.
I like Stuttgart in this game. I'm betting Stuttgart in this game. Mainz, they lost 4-0 against Werder Bremen. I think one of the worst teams in the Bundesliga, but we'll see. So I like Stuttgart much better. Very inconsistent, like we said. Won 5-0, lost 5-1, although against Leipzig. Then they won 5-0 again. I think Stuttgart's the better team. I don't have them as a lock, but I'm going for a Stuttgart win in this game. All right. Next up, Bochum versus Eintracht Frankfurt. Bochum wins at 3.05. Frankfurt wins at 2.3. Line for the total goals, 2.5. Where are you going in this game?
Bochum didn't won a match yet. Uh, and if you see the way how they play, that's, that's the reason why I think. Uh, but for me, it's a Frankfurt win. Bochum, they'll need a little bit luck if they want to do something against Frankfurt. But Frankfurt definitely has the better team. They're also in a yeah much better form than Bochum. Bochum will get their first win soon, I think, but not against Frankfurt. Mm. Frankfurt
I,
comes a little bit too soon for them.
I kind of agree with you, but I still want to see on the long term how Frankfurt will look without Colomwani and Kamada. Of course, they lost Colomwani to an PSG in the transfer window. Um, Last game, they weren't very convincing. So I have a hard time backing Frankfurt, especially on the road. I'm not betting this game. I'm staying away from this game. All right. Next up, Heidenheim versus Werder Bremen. Heidenheim wins at 2.35. Werder Bremen wins at 2.95. Line for the total goals set at 2.5. Where are you going?
Um, you'd have to go for Werder Bremen this match because it looks like they started to get their form. Heidenheim, I think, yeah, they got a little bit lucky against Dortmund, but it doesn't look like they already know which way they want to go because they're really not playing. I think the way that Frank Schmidt wants them to play. Uh, the team doesn't have a lot of confidence for sure. So I think whether Bremen will take advantage of that and have maybe 3 wins in a row this weekend.
Right. For me, the smart bet in this game is staying away from this game. I have a hard time splitting these two teams. I agree that Werder Bremen looked a little bit better in the last game, but still have a hard time backing them on the road. So I won't be betting this game. I'm staying away from this game. All right. Next up, Darmstadt versus Gladbach. Darmstadt wins at 3.05. Gladbach wins at 2.35. Line for the total goals, 2.5. Who do you like?
This is a this is a difficult one because Darmstadt, I think they didn't win a match yet.
No, no, not yet.
Gladbach, I think 1 point. They got like a
Yeah,
draw or something.
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's speaking of difficult matches, this is definitely one of them. But if you look at the history, then you would go for Gladbach
I
only
agree.
because they're the bigger team and they really need to win now. And Darmstadt is the perfect team for them to start winning. So I would just go for Gladbach in this
I'm also
match.
leaning towards an Gladbach. They're the more experienced team in the Bundesliga. Darmstadt haven't won a game yet, not even a single point. Gladbach, 1 point, not a win yet. They would want to get their first win. For me, it's just a lean because Gladbach, they're a totally different team on the road. They're very good at home, but very sloppy on the road. So I will be betting Gladbach, but it's just a lean, not a lock for me.
Yeah, but this weekend, yeah, they have to win because next weekend they're playing against Leipzig, so they know that won't be a win. So
Maybe a surprise.
yeah.
All right. That wraps up the Bundesliga. We will take a quick break and then we will be back with Serie A. Welcome back, everybody. We are continuing with Serie A. First game on the schedule, Juventus versus Lazio. Juventus wins at 1.9, Lazio wins at 4.4. Line for the total goals, 2.5. Interesting game. Sergio, what are you doing?
Yes, very interesting game. Lazio surprised everybody in the last game, winning against Napoli.
Not me, not me. I had an I didn't have them winning the game, but I did have them scoring over 1.5 goals. And I had a slight chance for an upset, but so it wasn't a total
Yeah,
surprise for me.
yeah, okay. They surprised most people that
Yeah, okay, all right.
with the win. Yeah, and of course for the Juventus losing losing Pogba for the remaining of the season. Uh, Lazio will, yeah, I think because it's an away game, it's still gonna be difficult for them because they won away against Napoli and Juventus again, an away game. I don't think it's gonna be a very easy match for them, and I don't think they're gonna win two away games against Juventus and Napoli uh, in two matches. So I'm still going for a Juventus win this weekend.
I somewhat agree with you. I don't like betting teams in back-to-back road games, and like you said, especially against top teams like first Napoli and now Juventus. So, but you had an international break, so that kind of changes the equity. Um, so I'm leaning towards Juventus in this game. But for me, my best bet is over 2.5 goals for this game. Juventus should win, but I think Lazio will score at least a goal. So I'm going for the over 2.5 at 2.06.
Yeah, that's also an interesting one because Juventus win is at 190 or
Yeah,
195.
yeah. So you would expect Lazio to score a goal. They would want to win. Yeah, so I like the over 2.5. All right. Next up, Inter versus AC Milan. Maybe the game of the week in Serie A. Inter wins at 2.10. AC Milan wins at 3.55. Line for the total goals, 2.5. And both teams look very sharp since the start of the season. Where are you going?
Yeah, both teams, like you said, didn't lose a match yet. Won everything. It's uh, it's the derby. I think the biggest one in Italy. Um, it doesn't matter now which team plays away or plays at home. They're playing
Yeah,
in the same stadium, so so it doesn't matter. The only Inter is gonna have a few more fans in
could make a
that.
difference. Could make a difference.
Yeah, yeah, that could make a difference. But it's a difficult one, and for me, it's if I hesitate, I always go for the highest out, and this is one of these matches, one of those matches where you just can't say which one is gonna mm, be better this weekend. So I'm going for the highest odds. I'm going for the underdog. I'm going for AC Milan.
I'm going the other way. I'm going for Inter. Uh, like we said, both teams look very sharp. So, and a tough time actually splitting those two teams based on the performances. But Inter has the better players. Inter just flat out has the better players. I like the players AC Milan acquired in the transfer window, but still Inter has the better players. Lautaro Martinez, great form. Marcus Thuram also starting to round up in form. So I'm going for Inter win in this game. Anything else for this game?
Uh, Fair, yeah, yeah. Inter, like you said, but but still, it's a derby. You know? It's if
Uh, I,
AC Milan scores the first goal,
Yeah, but if you look at the last game Inter played against Fiorentina, very high intensity. Like they kept attacking for like 90 minutes. They scored 4 goals. They looked very, very sharp. Like AC Milan, of course, they received a red card against AS Roma in the last game, but they were better. They won deservingly, but still not that convincing. Not as convincing as Inter looked against Fiorentina. All right,
and you know, with derbies, the
always
favorite
tricky. Yeah,
the
always
favorite
tricky.
almost
Always
never
tricky.
wins. So
Always tricky. I get that. Always tricky. But I like Inter. All right. Next up, Genoa versus Napoli. Genoa wins at 5.4. Napoli wins at 1.65. Line for the total goals set at 2.5. Napoli, according to the lines, deservingly favored in this game. But for me, it's still a little bit high of an odd. 1.65. Genoa actually not a good team. So why is the odd this high?
yeah, I think it has something to do with their last match, but but still, you would go the opposite way because Napoli would want to prove now that what happened against Lazio was yeah,
Kind of
um,
fluke.
just yeah, like a mistake and something that won't happen again very soon. Uh, 165. It's high out because Napoli. I think it's gonna be an easy win for them. Genoa won't be able to really yeah. But the thing is, Genoa they won against Lazio.
But they were very lucky. They were very
I
lucky to
mean,
do
yeah,
so.
yeah, they would be lucky. So, but I still don't think that they would have the idea that they can win from Napoli. So, but no, it's gonna be a Napoli win. It's gonna be an easy win for Napoli.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And like I said, Genoa won against Lazio, but they had 30% ball possession, so they were very lucky to get away with the win. Napoli lost against Lazio, and in the first half they were actually the better team. Tailed off in the second half. They would want to recorrect things and get a win, not want to lose 2 games on a row in a row. Um, so there's a lot of value for me in 1.65. So if it's an easy win, why not hammer Napoli in a line for 1.65? It should be easy money. But still, I am in this game. I'm going for Napoli to score more than 1 goal, over 1.5 goals. The line for the over 1.5 goals is at 1.67. Napoli wins at 1.65. I think there's
Not
a
a big
high,
difference, but
not a big difference. So you can go either way. I'm going for Napoli scoring more than 1 goal in this game. All right.
okay, that's the way to go.
Next up, Cagliari versus Udinese. Cagliari wins at 2.9. Udinese wins at 2.5. Line for the total goals set at 2.5. You got somebody in this game.
It's for me. It's one of the games that will definitely be a draw in the Serie A this weekend. The odds say it. Their last 3 games prove it also. Only loss and a draw. Uh, no, no. For me, this match, I will stay away from this match. You really don't know which way to go. Uh, for me, it's gonna be a draw. This match.
Tough time splitting these two teams. Both haven't won yet. Udinese 2 draws, 1 loss. Cagliari 2 loss, 1 draw. Both teams scored 1 goal, conceded 4 goals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
very, very tough
that
time.
also proves.
Yeah, very tough time splitting these two teams. Udinese is slight favorites, and I would agree with that. It's a slight lean towards Udinese for me, but I'm staying away from this game. Also, not betting this game. All right. Next up, Monza versus Lecce. Monza wins at 2.15. Lecce wins at 3.55. Line for the total goals set at 2.5. You got somebody in this game.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, I'm leaning towards Lecce, but Monza got they got their first win against Empoli. Um, but still, yeah, they're playing at home. So, and Lecce is one of the teams that they're maybe capable of taking points against. So I'm leaning towards Monza. I'm
Oh,
leaning
you said,
towards Monza in this match.
okay. Oh,
Lecce
yeah.
Lecce is in better form their last 3 games, but still, mm, I'm leaning towards Monza only because they're playing at home and it's against Lecce, and they know that Lecce is one of the teams that they will maybe be able to take points this season. So I'm going for Monza.
All right. I was slightly concerned. I thought you said Lecce in the beginning, but okay. And
Oh, no, no.
we agree there. I also like Monza in this game. Although Lecce won at Monza last season, but if you look at the game, Lecce had like 26% ball possession. They were very lucky to get away with the win. Monza, a very good home team, so I'm betting Monza in this game. Not a lot for me, but I really like Monza in this game. All right. Next up, Frosinone versus Sassuolo. Frosinone wins at 2.8. Sassuolo wins at 2.55. Line for the total goals, 2.5. Where are you going?
Again, a difficult one because these are two unpredictable teams. And yeah, really, they both won match. I think, yeah,
Yeah, they won. Frosinone
Sassuolo
won
won
against Atalanta. Sassuolo won the last game against Verona.
against Verona. Yeah, yeah. So and Sassuolo lost two, and Frisnon they won. No, they lost one and draw
Yeah,
also. So, and also if you look at the history, uh, these two teams, yeah, Sassuolo usually has the upper hand. But for this weekend, it's difficult, and especially the form that both teams have. Uh, I think this match will be a draw or a slight Sassuolo win. But I'm leaning more towards a draw for this match.
uh, I, I'm leaning more towards a Sassuolo win. Frosinone, they won 1 game. Both teams won 1 game, but Frosinone, they won against Atalanta. Were very lucky because they really didn't dominate possession. Uh, so they were very lucky to win against Atalanta. And Sassuolo, although they played at home, they had a dominant performance against Verona. Now they're going on the road, so that's a slight concern, but I'm still leaning more towards Sassuolo in this game. All right, next up, another interesting game. Fiorentina versus Atalanta. Fiorentina wins at 2.5, Atalanta wins at 2.8. Line for the total goals set at 2.5. Fiorentina got embarrassed in the last game against, well, in my opinion, the best team in the Serie A so far, Inter. They lost 4-0. So now they come home. They want to correct things. Where are you going?
Mm, yeah, Yeah, it's true. It was very embarrassing the last game, but still Fiorentina not in the best form. They didn't won a match yet. Only against what was it? The Europa League or the? Uh,
No, they won the first game of the season against Genoa.
yeah, right. Yeah, that game they won. And also, yeah, the second game they won was against Rapid Wien.
Yeah,
Yeah, I see. It was against Rapid Wien. Yeah, but yeah, still, I don't have the confidence that Fiorentina will win against Atalanta. Uh, for me, Atalanta, I'm leaning more towards Atalanta because I think that they are still a team that can definitely win from most of the top teams in the Serie A. Atalanta has the better team. Um, I'm leaning more towards Atalanta win this weekend.
I'm leaning a little bit more towards Fiorentina, but because of the embarrassment they had against Inter, they come home, they would want to correct things. So for me, it's just a lean towards Fiorentina. But what do I like in this game is over 2.5 goals. Slightly less value than picking one of the teams to win. But I would expect Atalanta to score a lot of goals in this game. I would also expect Fiorentina to score at least once. So I'm going for the over 2.5.
Over 2.5 for Atalanta. Yeah.
No, over two
Or
and a
for the
half
match.
for the match. Yes.
For the match. Okay.
No, I'm going over 2.5 for the match. Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm leaning towards Fiorentina, but Atalanta maybe slightly the better team. Only leaning towards Fiorentina because of the way they lost against Inter. So they would want to correct things, score a goal. Atalanta also very an attacking style, so I would expect them to score also in a couple of goals. So I'm going for the over 2.5.
Okay.
All right, next up, Roma versus Empoli. Roma wins at 1.43. Empoli wins at 8.5. Line for the total goals set at 2.5. Sergio, your favorite coach, Jose Mourinho, still hasn't
Yeah.
won a game yet.
No, yes, yes, he hasn't won a game yet. Yeah, for sure. But this is the match that he has to win. I think if he loses
Whoa,
this
whoa,
one or
whoa, whoa,
draws
whoa,
this one,
whoa. You said that last time. And you said that last time
no,
and
no, really, no, because
and the time before that.
no, no, no. But this time he really needs to win. I think he's in trouble of losing his job if he doesn't win this match. And it's against Empoli. You don't get them any easier than Empoli. So for me, this is his last chance, and I'm sure he will grab it with both hands. Um, it, this is definitely a Roma win this weekend. You can't think of anything else because if he loses or draws this match, I think
He's an
he's definitely
he'll
will be fired.
he'll be searching for a job, and I agree there. But still, I have a hard time back in Roma because they let me down every time. But Empoli, Empoli, not a very good team, so I also have a hard time backing Empoli with any confidence. So I'm staying away from this game, not betting this game. All right, next up, Salernitana versus Torino. Salernitana wins at 3.4. Torino wins at 2.2. Line for the total goals set at 2.5. Who do you got in this game?
Salernitana for sure. Um, uh, I don't know. This this team, Torino, also one of the teams that's so difficult to predict.
Yeah, very
And
inconsistent.
and the last two matches were both draws. Uh, but Salernitana, they okay, it was against Roma and against Udinese, but when they played those two matches, they had a chance to win. And I just think that that Udinese and Roma were just a little bit too, um, you know, just a little bit too hard for them. But Torino will be easier. So for me, Salernitana, I think they will get a win this weekend.
Uh, I don't think so. I
Okay.
think in Salernitana they drew against an Udinese, and I think Torino is slightly better than Udinese. I have a hard time backing Torino on the road, but still I think they're the better team, so I'm leaning towards Torino. Salernitana very lucky to draw against Roma. Roma dominated possession, had a hard time scoring. Then they drew against Udinese, not a very good team, and then they lost against Lecce. Torino, they looked very good in the last game against Genoa, much better. So I have a slight lean towards Torino. All right. Next up, last game in the Serie A. Hellas Verona versus Bologna. Hellas Verona wins at 3. Bologna wins at 2.43. Line for the total goals, 2.5. Who do you got?
I would have to go for Hellas Verona this match. They started very good this season. Won against Roma, won against Empoli. Yeah, I think it was yeah against Sassuolo. They had an off day. Um, Bologna, yeah, I don't see them winning away their away game against Hellas Verona. And history has shown that Hellas Verona they usually come back from a yeah a difficult match. So it's a Hellas Verona win for me this weekend.
I don't really have anyone in this game. I'm staying away from this game. The last time Bologna won at Verona was back in 2017. I have a hard time backing any of these teams with any confidence. For me, it smells like a draw. I don't like betting draws, so I'm staying away from this game. All right,
I agree
that
with you.
wraps up Serie A. We are getting to the Premier League. First game on the schedule: Wolves versus Liverpool. Wolves wins at 8. Liverpool wins at 1.43. Line for the total goals, 3.5. You see something happening in this game, Sergio?
Yeah, I think the difference between the teams is very huge. Wolves, and it's still it's Liverpool. Liverpool is like the Feyenoord of the Premier League. They something can always happen when you're playing against Liverpool. Um, and Wolves, yeah, they're not they're not that convincing, but still, Liverpool is always a team that they really need to be in their best or at their best to win from Wolves away. Uh, I would go a double chance for Wolves,
Oh, okay.
win
No,
or win or draw.
I have a hard time backing Wolves. No, not against Liverpool. I expect a comfortable Liverpool win.
Yeah, but
Liverpool's the better team.
last season they won at home from Liverpool,
Lightning
and
doesn't strike twice.
I have a feeling. Yeah, but I still have a feeling that that it can happen again because the Liverpool isn't that convincing, So yeah, still, and I think Van Dijk won't be playing also.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Van
she's the
Dijk
red
won't be
card.
playing also.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. And Van Dijk, mm, he isn't in his best form, and he's still in the starting lineup. So that proves maybe that they don't have anyone better.
No, maybe it's just
Uh,
because of the name. Maybe it's just because of the name. They hope he plays himself back into form, but maybe his backup is actually in better form at the moment.
yeah, but still, I don't think Liverpool will have an easy match against Wolverhampton. I'm I'm staying with my first thought, a draw or a win for Wolverhampton.
I expect a Liverpool win, but I don't think there's a lot of value in betting Liverpool, so I will not be betting this game, but I expect a Liverpool win. All right, next up, West Ham versus Manchester City. West Ham wins at 7, Manchester City wins at 1.52. Line for the total goals set at 2.5. This is actually kind of low, especially for a Manchester City game. And West Ham, very good start to the season. So, where are you going?
Hmm. West Ham, like you said, West Ham, very good start of the season. Um, um, I don't think that they surprised a lot of people because West Ham is they have a good team, average coach, but still, but still a good team. So yeah, but still, I still think that Manchester City is maybe just a little bit too too big and too good for them. Um, um, I think still it's gonna be a Manchester City win. I don't see City dropping any points. These first matches, they are, I think, just a little bit too good. Um, so for me, it's a City win this weekend also.
Yeah, for me, it's also a City win. And at 1.52, I don't think there's a lot of value in betting City. Maybe West Ham pulls off a shocking upset. I don't see that happening. If you really want to do something, look at both teams to score at 1.77, slightly better value. Uh, but I would expect City to win. Also, not betting this game. All right, next up, Tottenham versus Sheffield United. Tottenham wins at 1.3, Sheffield wins at 12, line for the total goals set at 3.5. Tottenham, very impressive in the last game against Burnley. What do you, what do
Yeah,
you expect?
yeah, they surprised me. Yeah, they surprised me. I didn't think that would happen. Yeah, yeah, but still very impressive. Sheffield, yeah. Look at the last games. Yeah, yeah, well, totally. I think these are one of the Sheffield is one of the teams that will definitely
Yeah, be
to the
relegated.
championship.
They'll be relegated. They'll be relegated.
Yes, yeah. So for Tottenham, it's just a match for them to still have the same form again, like what they had against Burnley. Um, Maybe they won't score as much as against Burnley, but still it will be an easy win for them. Sheffield, yeah, no, they don't. Mm, I think they also know that there aren't any points to get against Tottenham.
Yeah, I agree with you. It should be an easy Tottenham win. And if you look at the line for the total goals, I have a hard time betting the over because I really don't see Sheffield United scoring in this game. So I'm staying away from this game. Not a lot of value in betting and betting Tottenham to win this game. All right,
Yeah,
next up,
agree.
Manchester United versus Brighton. Manchester United wins at 2.23. Brighton wins at 3.1. Line for the total goals set at 3.5. Now, at the start of the season, you had a lot of faith in Manchester United. Now, Anthony, Anthony will not be playing in this game. So, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit, yeah, for Manchester United now, yeah, it's there's like, trouble in paradise there.
to say the least.
So yeah, so Brighton, I think it's the right team to maybe take advantage of that. And Manchester United with Ten Hag, last season he I think he did a better job last season. This season, I don't think he already knows which way he wants to go. Uh, for, I don't think Manchester United will have an easy match against Brighton, and if all the things go right for Brighton, I think they can even win. So this will be my second lock this weekend. I'm going for Brighton. Manchester United is in trouble for me.
Yeah, I agree. Manchester United's in trouble. I really considered putting Brighton as one of my locks because of everything you said. But one thing that gave me cause to pause is just it's tough to win at Old Trafford. But then again, Brighton won at Old Trafford last season. So
Yeah.
Brighton's the better team. I'm also going for a Brighton win. I think Manchester United's in trouble, especially with all the things going on. Anthony suspended or inactive for this game because of legal issues. So I think United's in trouble. I'm also going for a Brighton win. I'm not putting it as a lock. Like I said, had some cost to pause, but I'm still going for a Brighton win.
Yeah, but this is my second lock this week. It's Brighton
All right,
wins.
all right. Next up, Fulham versus Luton. Fulham wins at 1.68. Luton wins at 5.6. Line for the total goals, 2.5. Where are you going?
Yeah, yeah, it's a Fulham, and yeah, Luton. Don't know what they. Yeah, they didn't win a match yet, yeah, right?
No, no,
Luton,
no,
yeah,
no.
lost against Brighton, and yeah, Chelsea. Of course, if you lose against Chelsea with the 3-0, yeah,
You're not a very good team, I can tell you
yeah, yeah, they're
that.
not very good team. For Fulham, yeah, they lost 5-1 against City last time around. So they would want to definitely correct that. Uh, uh, yeah, I'm going for it's a Fulham win. Not much to say about this match. Luton Town, it's not in a position to win away from Fulham. So
Yeah,
it's a
I
Fulham
agree with
win.
everything you said. Nothing for me to add in this game. Fulham should win. And given that Luton looks like one of the worst teams in the Premier League, there is a lot of value in backing Fulham as a win at 1.68. So not great value, good value. So I would go with a Fulham win in this game. All right. Next up, Aston Villa versus Crystal Palace. Aston Villa wins at 1.98. Crystal Palace wins at 4.1. Line for the total goals, 2.5. Who do you like?
Um, Aston Villa, they started very good at the season. Um, they started the season very good. They lost against Liverpool. Yeah, away. Yeah, that's something that can happen. Crystal Palace played very well against Wolverhampton, but Villa, Liverpool was of course the better team. I think Aston Villa will come back against Crystal Palace and just win this match. Unai Emery, one of my favorite coaches. I like what he does at every team. And for Aston Villa, yeah, it's nothing different. It's an
Yeah.
easy Aston Villa win for me.
Ooh, I don't know about easy. I also like Aston Villa in this game. I think they'll win. I'm not sure it will be easy. But what I like in this game is Aston Villa to score more than one goal. Like if you look at Aston Villa win is set at 1.98, but the line for over 1.5 goals is set at 1.98. So not a big
Mm-hmm.
difference. And if you look at Aston Villa in their home games, dating back to mid-January, they scored at least twice in every home game. In every home game. So I expect the same in this game. So I'm going for Aston Villa over 1.5 goals. All right. Next up,
Interesting.
Newcastle versus Brentford. Newcastle wins at 1.55. Brentford wins at 6.75. Line for total goals set at 2.5. This game has kind of the feeling of the Brighton West Ham game, where there was such a big gap in the odds. I couldn't explain it, and West
Yeah,
Ham ended up winning. You were correct on that one. So, who do you like in this game?
yeah. I don't know why it's that you said Newcastle lost the last three games. Uh, against Brighton, they weren't convincing. Liverpool was a little bit better, but still they lost. And yeah, Man City, two teams that you can lose against if you're Newcastle United. But that also means that the confidence is not there yet.
Kind of low.
So for Brentford, it's an opportunity for them to take advantage of that. Brenton didn't they or Brentford they didn't lose yet.
No, no, they haven't lost the game yet.
Yeah, yeah. Brentford didn't lose the game yet. So yeah, still to think that Newcastle will lose four matches in a row. That's also that would also be too much. So yeah, but I would go for the for the draw this match. Yeah, yeah. Newcastle. I don't think that they'll be able to yeah to win against Brentford yet. I think they'll start with a draw before they start winning again.
Uh,
Brentford is just a little bit too strong team to start against. Mm.
yeah. I also have
Yeah.
a hard time explaining the gap in the odds, so I agree with most of what you said. But I wouldn't bet a draw in this game. If I would were to bet something in this game, I would go double chance, like a draw or Brentford win. So if Brentford were to win, you at least get some value. I have a hard time seeing Newcastle and losing 4 games in a row, so that kind of gives me some
Yeah,
cause to pause. But my lock for this game is both teams to score at 1.74. Not great value, but for me good value because Newcastle they have failed to clap a clean sheet in 20 of the last 22 games. So you know Brentford is going to score a goal, and given the fact that Newcastle has lost 3 games in a row, they'll score a goal in this game too. They would want to win, so I'm going for both teams to score at 1.74. Not great value, good value. All right.
yeah.
Next up,
I agree.
Bournemouth versus Chelsea. Bournemouth wins at 4.8. Chelsea wins at 1.73. Line for the total goals set at 2.5. This is wild. Where are you going, Sergio?
Bournemouth win for me. No, no, it's no, no, but yeah, for Chelsea, I don't know, but Chelsea's such a bad team. I don't
They
know.
stink.
It's
They stink.
yeah. They can lose against
Anybody.
everybody.
They could lose against
I don't
anybody.
even know. I don't even know why the odds for Bournemouth are that high. I mean, like 1.72 for Chelsea. I mean, like if you watch their games, you would just say, "Oh no, Bournemouth has a chance to win." So I would go for Bournemouth definitely. But yeah, no, I'm not going for a Chelsea win. I don't think that they can suddenly perform good enough to win an away game at Bournemouth. Um, I don't know.
Yeah,
I would
tough
go
tough
for a
game to
double
call.
chance. I would go for a double chance for this one also, draw or a Bournemouth win. But no, I don't see Chelsea winning this match. No.
Yeah, I also have a hard time backing Chelsea with any confidence. In the last game they played against Nottingham Forest, I said, okay, Chelsea's playing at home. Nottingham Forest, not a great team. If they were playing anybody else but Nottingham, I would go with a Chelsea loss. I ended up
Yeah.
going with a Chelsea win. Looked like a fool, but
Yeah.
like they're bad. Chelsea's very bad. So, but Bournemouth they haven't won a game yet. So I'm not that sold on Bournemouth yet. But like I said, Chelsea's so bad. They can lose against anybody. I'm staying away from this game. Not betting this game. Too much risk for me. So I'm staying away from this game.
Yeah. Me too.
All right. Next up, Everton versus Arsenal. Everton wins at 6.25. Arsenal wins at 1.56. Line for the total goals set at 2.5. Where are you going this game?
Everton, um, they also didn't win. They haven't won yet, right? Everton is still
No,
a
no, I
draw.
did. Yeah, they they drew in the last game. Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. No. For Everton, yeah. No, I don't think they Arsenal comes a little bit too soon for them. Um, I think their win will be postponed for another week. Arsenal got a lot of confidence against the win against what was it, Manchester
United.
United.
Yeah, Manchester United.
Yeah, the win against Manchester United. Yeah, so no, Everton now it's gonna be a maybe not a easy win, but it will be a win for Arsenal this weekend. Yeah, Everton's gonna have to wait. They're gonna have to wait another weekend or another week.
Yeah, I agree with you there. That and also, Arsenal should win this game, but not a lot of value in betting Arsenal at 1.56. So I'm staying away from this game, but I expect Arsenal to win in this game. All right. Next up, last game in the Premier League, Nottingham Forest versus Burnley. Nottingham Forest wins at 2.28. Burnley wins at 3.35. Line for the goal total goals set at 2.5. Where are you going this game?
Forest. I don't know if they if they'll fool themselves saying that they have a lot of confidence because they won against Chelsea,
Maybe they do. Maybe they do.
but yeah, but still Burnley, you know, they. I don't know. They also didn't, they didn't convince me at the Vincent Company. Like the guy, uh, but still,
Yeah, not
this
sold
match
on
will
him yet.
be
Not sold
looks
on
like
him
a
yet. Yeah.
no. This match, it has all the ingredients to be a draw. Especially, it's a Monday night. Uh, no, for me, this is a draw. I'm staying away from this match. It doesn't have anything of value for me. I'm staying away from this match because I think it will be a draw.
Yeah, I agree with you that the smart bet for this game is to stay away. But there is some high risk, high reward in betting Burnley because these two teams they played against each other at the end of August in the EFL Cup, and Burnley was the better team. Burnley won, even though they played at Nottingham Forest. So there's a slight high risk, high reward in betting Burnley, but so I would sprinkle a little bit of money on Burnley, but I
Yeah,
wouldn't I wouldn't bet too much
not a
money
lot.
on Burnley. Not a lot. I would sprinkle a little bit of money on Burnley. So that's it. All right, that wraps up the Premier League. We will take a quick break and then we'll be back with La Liga. Welcome back, everybody. We are continuing with La Liga. First game on the schedule, Rayo Vallecano versus Alaves. Rayo wins at 2, Alaves wins at 4.5, line for the total goals set at 2.5. Sergio, where are you going?
I would definitely go with Rayo Vallecano. This one, yes. Alaves, although they won against Valencia the last match, but if you watch the game, you see that it was a little bit luck uh, that they won that match. Rayo Vallecano plays at home. Um, Lost, yeah, against Atletico Madrid 7-0. Betis, yeah, like this. No, I would go to with Rayo Vallecano this
Yeah,
weekend, and also the odds speak for themselves, and yeah, and it's an interesting odd for for Rayo Vallecano.
yeah, I agree with you there. Rayo, of course, they lost embarrassingly against an Atletico Madrid. Lost against Betis, but they didn't play that bad. They actually played a solid game, especially playing away. Now they come back home. Alaves, they won against Valencia, but okay, they started out the game good, but tailed off at the end. So maybe they won undeservingly. I think Rayo is the better team. They should win in this game. So I'm also backing Rayo in a win. All right, next up, Athletic Bilbao versus Cadiz. Bilbao wins at 1.57. Cadiz wins at 6.75. Line for the total goals set at 2.5. What do you got?
There's not much to say about this match. I think, yeah, Cadiz a little bit too easy for Athletic Bilbao. Mm, yeah, Cadiz. Yeah, they won against Villarreal. I think that was
Yeah,
a lucky game, to
it
say
was
the
kind of
least.
a fluke, especially in
Yeah,
Villarreal receiving the red card very early.
yeah,
So
very early. So yeah, there's a lucky game for that. But Bilbao, and Cadiz had a good performance against Villarreal, but you know what happens afterwards. They
downwards.
of course they will lose. Yeah, they go downwards. No, nothing to say about this match. It will be a easy win for Atletico Bilbao.
Yeah, I agree with you. It should be an easy win for Bilbao. But like you said, if you look at the last game, Cadiz, they won against Villarreal because one of the reasons I think Villarreal and received a very early red card. So it's hard to factor that kind of things into the predictions we make. So if Bilbao were to receive a very early red card or maybe even two red cards or something like that, maybe you can see a Cadiz win. But other than that, it should be a comfortable Athletic Bilbao win. I
Yes.
also don't have a bet in this game. All right, next up, Valencia versus Atletico Madrid. Valencia wins at 3.9. Atletico Madrid wins at 2.06. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, Atletico Madrid, extra rest because the last game of them got postponed against Sevilla. So they haven't played in like 3 weeks. Is it rest or rust? Which one? Which one will help?
I hope it will be Rust. Yeah, yeah, but usually it's Rust. I don't know if they have a lot of internationals, Atletico, because then
Somewhat.
yeah. So I think most of them still played.
Yeah, but they
So,
haven't played together or trained a lot as a team in the last weeks. So
mm. But either way, I'm still leaning towards Valencia. They're playing at home. They're playing against a top team. Um, I think they're yeah gonna want to prove something. The last two matches weren't that good. Lost against Osasuna and I think it was Alaves.
yeah,
They
they
lost
lost one
against.
nothing against Alaves.
Yeah, yeah, 1-0. So yeah, I'm leaning towards Valencia win, and only because it's against Atletico. If they lose again, 3 games in a row, mm, no, I don't think that's something they want. So I'm going for a Valencia win this weekend.
I somewhat agree with you, and also in a Valencia at home, very tough place to play, but not for Atletico Madrid. The last time Valencia won at home against Atletico Madrid was 2014. That's a long time ago. So,
Yeah,
and you went with a rust to prevail. I'm going with rest to prevail. I like Atletico Madrid in this game. I'm backing Atletico Madrid in a win. I don't have them as a lock, but I'm going for a Atletico Madrid win. They're the better team. Valencia, they were yeah, they won in 2 games. But if you look at the games they won, they didn't really dominate possession. So they were kind of lucky to escape with the wins and against actually a very bad Sevilla team. Then they won against Las Palmas, also not a very good team. I think Atletico is a much better team, so I'm backing Atletico Madrid in a win.
yeah, but the last 6 matches, Valencia didn't won. They lost 5 and draw a draw 1. Yeah, they drew 1. So I,
Yeah,
I have a
well,
feeling they will stop that streak this weekend.
I have a feeling the streak will continue, so we'll see. All right,
Yeah, we'll see.
next up, Celta Vigo versus Mallorca. Celta Vigo wins at 2.05, Mallorca wins at 4.35. Line for the total goals set at 2.5. Who do you got in this game?
Yeah, definitely need to go for Celta. Mallorca, they didn't win yet.
Nope, not one.
No, no, lost 2 and draw.
Yeah, it was a
No.
draw, LL draw.
Yeah. So yeah, no. It's definitely a Celta win. They play at home. Um, mm, Rafael Benitez, good coach.
Mm.
Um, yeah, no, Celta. They won against Almeria. I think that was their first win.
That was first win. They look very good in that game.
Yeah, yeah, they look very good in that game. But Mallorca doesn't seem to have any confidence at all. Um, and Celta away, it's a little bit too difficult for them, I'm afraid. So it's a Celta win for me
Yeah, I'm
this
also
weekend.
going a Celta win. Actually, I have nothing to really to add, and based on what you said, and Celta should win this game. Mallorca, they don't look very good at the moment. I think they'll have to wait a little bit longer for a win. So I'm also backing Celta Vigo for a win. All right, next up, Barcelona versus Real Betis. Barcelona wins at 1.4, Real Betis wins at 8.5, line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, Barcelona, obviously the better team, but the line kind of stinks for me. 1.4?
Yeah, yeah, well, for sure. Yeah, it's yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, I saw it also, and also Real Betis. You know, uh, Pellegrini, he has a good record against Barcelona. Yeah, for me, Pellegrini, I think he knows exactly how to play against Barcelona. He proved that when he was at Real, when he
Villarreal?
was at
Yeah.
Villarreal also, especially. So yeah, so for me, I'm not that convinced that Barcelona will win that easy as the odds predict, but it's still gonna be a win for them. But it's not gonna be an easy one. That's for sure. Um, so I would go with both teams to score and Barcelona win. That's uh, that's
Yeah,
the way
there's
to go for this match, I think.
there's some value in that, and if you add those two bets, You get an odd of 2.85. So obviously not a bad way to go. And I can also see Real Betis scoring in this game. I actually had both teams to score as one of my bets in this game. So Barcelona win with both teams to score, not a bad bet. But I don't think it will be an easy win for Barcelona, like you said. And like I said, the line kind of stinks. So uh, I have a slight bit concern of maybe an upset.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm
Like a Real Betis win or what?
yeah, something like that. But just a hunch, just a hunch,
Uh,
just a
yeah,
hunch.
yeah, and only because it's Pellegrini. I kind of agree, but still, yeah, they're playing at home, Barcelona. So
Yeah, it's a tough place to win for Betis.
mhm.
But I like both teams to score. All right. Next up, Getafe versus Osasuna. Getafe wins at 2.65. Osasuna wins at 3.15. Line for the total goals, 1.5. Not an interesting game.
no, no, no. I think it's this. I'm staying away from this match. It has all the ingredients for a draw. Both teams not convincing. Both just I think they won one match
Yeah, Getafe
still.
won against Alaves, Osasuna won against Valencia.
Yeah, one against Valencia. So yeah, so that's why it's still no. For me, it's a draw. I'm staying away from this match. A little bit too difficult.
Yeah, a draw seems like a likely outcome. Getafe is slightly favored. I think because they're playing at home, but I think Osasuna is actually a little bit better. So I would sprinkle again second game to sprinkle a little bit money on an Osasuna win. Just some great value in placing Osasuna win. Getafe, if you look at the games they played, also against Alaves, the game they won, they scored a penalty. Um, they don't look very good. So I give Osasuna a very good chance to win this game. I don't have it as a lock or one of my favorite bets, but I would sprinkle a little bit of money on it. Not a lot,
Yeah,
not a
just
lot.
like
No,
yeah.
yeah, just a little bit. All right. Next game, Villarreal versus Almeria. Villarreal wins at 1.49. Almeria wins at 7. Line for the total goals, 3.5. Where are you going?
Villarreal, of course, not convincing. The last two matches, yes, of course, against Cadiz, yeah, they got the red
Red
cards.
card. Yeah.
Um, but still, it's Almeria. Yeah, they uh, they lost their first two games,
Yeah. Then they
and then a
they
draw,
drew and then
and then lost
then
again.
they lost again.
For Villarreal, this is the perfect opponent to regain their confidence and to, of course, get their 3 points again. Um, History has proved that these two teams, when they're playing against each other, Villarreal usually has the upper hand. So yeah, hopefully for Villarreal, this is their 3 points again. I'm going for a Villarreal win, easy win.
Yeah. I also think Villarreal should win this game. They're playing at home. They're the better team. But if you look at the odd, not a lot of value in Villarreal winning at 1.49. Line for the total goals set at 3.5. I don't like betting the over on 3.5 goals. So I'm staying away from this game, but I expect Villarreal to win in this game. All right, next up, Sevilla versus Las Palmas. Sevilla wins at 1.66. Las Palmas wins at 5.8. Live line for the total goals set at 2.5. And Sevilla, like we said, the match against Atletico Madrid got postponed, so also a rest versus rust conversation. But I also want to add the last game Sevilla actually played against Girona. You convinced me Sevilla would win. They did not.
Yeah.
So, are you backing them this time again?
I mean, like Sophia, I think they were released, relieved that they didn't have to play the match against Atletico Madrid because it would be their fifth loss in a row. Probably, I think this is the worst start of the season ever
Yeah,
for Sevilla.
it looks
Right?
very close. Very close.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't fire the coach yet,
They will.
but
They will.
yeah, against Las Palmas, I think against Las Palmas, but yeah, Sevilla now against Las Palmas, they don't have another choice but to win. So hopefully this will be the first 3 points. They can't lose this match. Come on, they can't lose this match against Las Palmas, and that's the odds speak for themselves. They know that Sevilla they can't do nothing else but to win. And Las Palmas, you won't get teams easier than that in in the Primera Division. So if they lose this one, I think they're going to be relegated for sure. They have to win this match, but
Uh,
it's not an interesting odd. Maybe both teams to score, but Las
no,
Palmas, I don't think they'll win.
no, I'm staying away from this game. I have a hard time backing Sofia. If you look at their play, they look out of sorts. So I can't back them with any confidence. But Las Palmas also not a very good team. They have trouble scoring. So I would expect Sofia to win, but like I said, I can't back them with any confidence. So I'm staying away from this game.
Yeah, smart choice.
All right. Next up, Real Madrid versus Real Sociedad. Real Madrid wins at 1.7. Real Sociedad wins at 5.3. Line for the total goals 2.5. Vinicius Jr., of course, still out for this game. And Real Sociedad, in the past couple of years, a tricky opponent for Real Madrid. Any chance
Yes,
for an
yeah,
upset?
yes, of course. They lost the last game against Real Sociedad. Yeah, but still, it was Real Sociedad played at home. Um, I was already looking at this match and I thought, that would be like maybe a double chance for Real Sociedad, but in the end, I would still go for both teams to score and Real Madrid win. Yeah, I think Real still have the upper hand. Real Sociedad didn't start the season very well. Of course, they won their last match against Granada. Yeah, but Granada not one of the biggest teams in the Primera Division. Um, Real would definitely would not want to lose points against Sociedad because um, there are a lot more difficult teams that they will face.
Yeah, but they will
Uh,
drop. They will drop points at some point. They've
yeah,
won.
but
They've won all four games now. And for our audience, I'm a Real Madrid fan, so kind of bit biased here. But I'm a little bit nervous about this game. Like this is a very tricky opponent, and Real Sociedad they didn't start the season off well, had a lot of trouble scoring goals. But then they scored 5 goals against Granada. Okay, like you said,
yeah, but
Granada
Granada, yeah,
not a very good
yes, but
opponent, but still, five goals is 5 goals, right? So, and there's something about this matchup that makes me nervous. I'm staying away from this game. I won't be betting this game because I have enough riding with my heart on Real Madrid, so I won't be adding any extra money.
but for the people that are not Real Madrid fans, it's it's a draw. It's a both teams to score and the Real win. I think it's a decent. decent odd there.
All right. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. All right. Next game. Last game. Granada versus Girona. Granada wins at 3.05. Girona wins at 2.5. Line for the total goals 2.5. How long do we need to talk about this game?
Not too long. It's a Monday. It's a
Yeah,
Monday
yeah,
game.
yeah.
Monday and Friday games are always surprising. But still, I'm leaning towards Girona. They started the season a little bit better. Um, yeah, a little bit better. Yeah, a lot better if you look at the if you look at Granada's performance.
Yes.
But yeah. But I lean more towards Girona this match. Um, Only because they're in better form. Like I said, they started the season better, mm, and they definitely have a better team than Granada. I'm going for Girona win this one.
I somewhat agree with you. Also leaning towards Girona, but if you look at the performance, they haven't lost yet. One draw, the rest all wins. They can't keep up this performance, right? They're not going to finish second, so they will drop points. They will drop points at some point. I don't know if this is the game, but I feel like it's very close to them dropping points. So for me, it's just a lean. I won't be betting this game, but it's a lean towards Girona. I think you're right. Girona is the better team.
Yeah, I wouldn't agree more.
All right, that wraps up this weekend's matchups. We want to thank everybody that joined in, and we want to ask everybody follow our YouTube channel, like and subscribe. You can also listen to us on Spotify. And like we always say, bet responsible. Never bet money that you can afford to lose.
Mm. Yes, I agree with that, and also this is our first take, so we would like if you have any comments, comment in the comment section. We can maybe improve and of course hope to see you next time.
Yes, comments are very welcome. You can also follow our Instagram page at betting_insights. Thank you, everybody. Have a good weekend. Bye bye.
Have a good weekend, everybody. Yeah, bye.